The evidence that we are presenting here today is overwhelming proof that the 2012 voters register is incurably flawed and cannot be relied on for the 2016 elections. This morning, we presented our arguments and evidence on this matter to the Electoral Commission. We, however, deem it important to share this with all Ghanaians. The NHIS card is one of the cards that the Electoral Commission has previously accepted as evidence for eligibility to vote, to register as a voter in Ghana. A loophole, therefore, existed with the NHIS card for foreigners to be able to register as voters in Ghana. Of the total of 905,000 special registrations between 2011 and 2012, of that total, 905,000 for the whole country, special registration of the poor and the vulnerable. Out of that 905,000, 403,000 were in 2 regions alone. That is 44.5% were in just 2 regions. Brongahafu with 20.2%, Volta with 24.3%. When one considers that the poor and vulnerable are not disproportionately represented in these 2 regions. If you look at the Ghana Living Standard Survey, if you are looking for poor and vulnerable, you will go to the 3 northern regions and the central region first. That is where you would have expected a lot more of these cards to have been issued for the poor and the vulnerable. The high numbers for Brongahafu and Volta regions may be suggestive of foreigners coming across the border to take advantage of the NHIS, or a deliberate registration of foreigners in NHIS to provide them IDs for the voter registration exercise. It is against this background that the Supreme Court has declared in the case of Abu Ramadan and another versus the Electoral Commission and the Attorney General, and I quote, that upon a true and proper interpretation of Article 42 of the Constitution, the use of the National Health Insurance Card as proof of qualification to register as a voter pursuant to the Public Elections Registration of Voters Regulations 2012, that is CI 72, is unconstitutional, void, and of no effect. This ruling by the Supreme Court poses a major problem for the validity of the voters' register, since by the EC's own admission, a large number of voters registered using the National Health Insurance Card as their identification. The available data also shows increases in voters' register in several constituencies, unusual increases in the voters' register in several constituencies between 2008 and 2012. One cannot credibly explain, for example, how the voters' register of magnitudes existing for above 40% can take place. 40% increase between 2008 and 2012. You see constituencies such as Amenfi East, 34% increase, Pusiga, 30%, Adenta, 48%, Ponkatamanso, 57% increase. Between 2008 2012, Ghana West, 58%. Over the years, there have been persistent rumors that people are coming from across the border in Togo, in Burkina Faso, in Cote d'Ivoire to register and vote in Ghanaian elections. Our investigative team started trying to obtain the voters' registers across all of the bordering countries. We obtained the Togo voters register, and this was publicly available in Togo. This is a sample of the voters register in Togo, right? So we obtained the Togo Voters Register to begin the investigations. We used what we call facial biometric recognition technology. These are some of the matches. The one on the right is from the Togo Voters Register, and the number you see there is the Togo ID, Voters ID card number. The names are exactly the same in Togo and in Ghana.
What we are looking at is how do we move forward into 2016 with a clean, credible register that will provide a transparent, free and fair elections. I think that's the way we should look at this. And I believe that the evidence that has been provided today is convincing enough and compelling enough for us to take a serious look at providing a new voters register.
This is a crime. If you do this in any institution, you'll be jailed. So I personally am calling for the President of the Republic of Ghana to come out with a pronouncement on this and direct the Attorney General and the IGP that anybody found in this double registration business should be arrested. They must immediately go for the assistance of Interpol so that Togo, Cote d'Ivoire, and also Burkina, the international community, will now take it up.